So that was a busy Sunday, wasn't it? Thank you and congratulations to everybody who participated. I think we all had a pretty good time. Of course, it started with worship, and then we had a great coffee hour where everybody was talking and had some good conversations and some food, of course. And then a bunch of us went on our first of the year Eliot Church field trip. We went out to Fruitlands, which is in Harvard, Mass. For those of you who are not from the area, that's not the same as Harvard University. Harvard, Mass is a town out in apple-picking country. And Fruitlands is, well, now it's a museum, but it was originally an intentional community set up by transcendentalists, the Alcotts being the most famous of them. They went out and they were going to live off the land and do transcendentalist things. But instead, they almost starved to death because they all thought that their own work and study was more important than farming. And that's what happens if you don't make the food. Anyway, it's now a museum, and you can go see the house, and then there's some other museums attached to it or in the field out behind the house. You can go to an art museum, and there's also a Native American museum and a Shaker house, which was closed for renovation, so we didn't get to go in it this time. But we all had a good time, and then we came home. It's about a 45-minute drive, and we got home just in time for me to be the dungeon master for the first full session of the Eliot Church Collegiate Dungeons and Dragons Club. That was great fun. It's made up primarily of former church youth groupers, and we met online using Roll20, which is a system for keeping your maps in order, and Google Hangouts. And we just had a wonderful time for almost 3 hours, killing things like kobolds, little lizard people. We almost got destroyed by a dragon, but that's okay. We're better now. So yeah, it was a full day, and it was great. About 12 hours of church if you're the minister. So we have another big Sunday coming up this week. We have, of course, worship, and then coffee hour will be over at Memorial Hall because we will be doing the photo competition for the Old Town calendar. So please come and check out the photos of local artists, ones that they have taken of the area right around where the church is, and vote on those for next year's Old Town calendar. There might actually, a D&D game, or role-playing game anyway, might break out also. The high school and middle school D&D group is trying to figure out if we can, make the time. It's tricky with schedules these days. But anyway, please come to that as well. It should be a good time. For worship, though, we will be talking about devotions. We'll talk about prayers and rituals and other things we do to keep ourselves connected to the transcendent. And obviously, one of those ways is through prayer. And there's a famous prayer that we use on Sundays, and many, many churches do. Usually called the Lord's Prayer, also known as the Prayer of Jesus. It is, of course, in the Bible as well. But we're all familiar with one translation. And there are other ones as well. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read one that comes from the New Zealand Book of Common Prayer for the Anglican Church of New Zealand, which is roughly equivalent to Episcopalians here in the United States. And it's interesting. I mean, it's worth listening to. And for those of you who know the traditional one, or the what we think of as traditional, at least in the English language, of this prayer, you can think about that one a little bit as well. But this is nice. I think you'll like it. Eternal Spirit, Earth Maker, Pain Bearer, Life Giver, Source of all that is and all that shall be, Father and Mother of us all, loving God, in whom is heaven. The hallowing of your name echoes through the universe. The way of your justice be followed by the peoples of the world. Your heavenly will be done by all created beings. Your commonwealth of peace and freedom sustain our hope and come on earth. With the bread we need for today, feed us. In the hurts we absorb from one another, forgive us. In times of temptation and testing, strengthen us. From trials to endure, spare us. From the grip of all that is evil, free us. For you reign in the glory of power, that is love, now and forever. Amen. So this week, as we get ready for church, let's think a little bit about how we connect with the divine. And it may be formal ways, like a prayer. It may be more conversational. It may be just something that you do when you're on a walk in the woods. I'm learning to bake pies, which I'm actually finding to be quite a spiritual endeavor. Also sometimes frustrating. But anyway, that sort of thing. Like, what do you do that makes you feel like you're part of the whole? And with that, I will sign off for this week, and I will see you on Sunday. You know how to get in touch. We'll talk soon. Bye.